Hey JVs and affiliates, it's Wilco the Kreij here, and in this video I want to dive into the 10 things that you can do to make sure your launch is a smashing hit. So let's get started. If you're anything like me, then you've probably seen a ton of launches in the past, right? I mean, just look at Munchai, for example. There's new launches coming on every single day, but what you've probably also noticed is that some of them, they're sort of doing okay, while every once in a while you see a launch and it just completely blows up, like it blows everything out of the water. And why is that? What's the difference between a launch that sort of does okay and one that really blows up? Because if you've seen any of my previous launches, like Connect Leads, Connect Explore, Connect Retarget, Viral, all these launches, they've been amongst the biggest in the industry. And we're planning to do the same thing again on May 29th with Connect Automate. And I've been looking hard, like, what makes that difference? What makes sure that affiliates are getting paid the most, or that it's an everlasting product, and that overall the launch is a smashing hit? And all those things, these 10 things I want to share with you right now, and we're implementing that into our upcoming launch as well. And the first and foremost thing is to have a solid product with a long-term vision. And then sure, it's easy to make a product that looks good and even easy to create a product that works great, right? But to make sure you have a product that actually has a long-term vision, that you know is going to be around to 1, 2, 3, 4 years from now, that makes a big difference, right? Because people sense that. People, like, it's clear if you create something that is going to work for like 3 months. It's based on a trick or a hype or whatever. But if you build something that you know is going to work for like years and years and years, and there's a good strategy behind it, it makes a big difference right out of the gate. And number 2 is to have a product that is in demand by nature. And what I mean with that is that before you even throw out a marketing message, before you even do any of the marketing, people are literally asking for the product that you're about to launch. Just like recently when I saw on Facebook that someone posted in a Facebook group exactly like, hey, I'm looking for this particular tool. Who knows which tool it does? Which is exactly what Connect Automate is doing. And that right there is what I call in demand by nature. So even before we do any of the marketing hype and we make sure people actually get excited about it, people are literally looking for this product, which is going to be a big help during the launch. And then number 3 is obviously having the right hook, right? It's all about making sure you position your product in a way that gets people off guard, like gets under their skin in a way like they want to have that product, right? There's a lot of thought and a lot of work that goes into that. Some launches, they just completely avoid that, but that right here makes a big difference. And again, that's something we've done for the upcoming launch as well. And number 4 is to do a pre-launch that gets people excited about your product before the launch. You can do this in many different ways. You can have, for example, a pre-launch 3-part video sequence like Jeff Walker does, or you can do a webinar, which is exactly what we're doing at Connect Automate. So we're letting people sign up for the webinar where we teach people about this new strategy and we get people excited about the product, and then we go into the launch. And then once you get people excited, number 5 is to have a sexy offer in place. So have the right pricing, have the right bonuses to make sure it's just a no-brainer offer. And then once people in, number 6 is to have a strong funnel in place to make sure you increase cart value, which again is something we've done in the upcoming launch as well. On the front end, it will be a $197 a year offer, and right after, we're having an upsell at $497 at 50% commissions for you as well. And as if that's not enough, we also have a strong JV cash contest in place, which brings me to number 7. In fact, we're actually giving away more than $10,000 in cash and JV prizes during this launch. But if there's one thing I know will make affiliates happy, it's high conversions. And that's why we do everything we can to make sure it converts as high as possible. Besides the hook, beside the offer, beside all these things, we also make sure that, for example, which brings me to number 8, to have abandoned cart sequences in place. To make sure that whoever is attempting to make a purchase, but they don't, we're sending them an email to make sure to get them across the trigger line. And that goes hand in hand with number 9, which is to have a real strong Facebook ad retargeting strategy in place. We're creating a bunch of ads to make sure whoever you send to our launch, we're hitting them basically from various angles to make sure they get the scarcity, to make sure they get the social proof, to make sure we get them excited about this product, and you still get the commissions. And that brings me to number 10, which I believe is the most important thing of all, and that is to put a smile on your customer's face. To just over-deliver what they're getting and to make sure that they're truly excited about the product and the service that you're delivering. And I mean, none of the other stuff would even matter if this part is not okay. And obviously, we got that in control as well. So with that having said, I hope you learned something from these 10 videos. And yes, during this video, I obviously made very clear that we're doing an awesome big launch happening on May 29th for Connect Automate, and I would love you to be a part of it. So just in case you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check out our JV page and let me know if you got any questions at all. Have an awesome day.
Bye.